Estimating that TSM is not some amateur team that cannot beat Optic in any game type. They're here for a reason. They're all veteran pro players. They can do this, but Optic really needs to have a really convincing showing going into Game 7.
Essentially
really,
a statement game. They need to make a statement with
exactly.
this one. They need to come out of the gates and say, all right, yeah, we faltered a time in this series. We definitely shown our weaknesses, but now this is where we get back on track. I want to hear the intensity. I haven't heard a yell at all for so much on the line this weekend out of some of the guys on Optic. As you mentioned, Scump really the guy who brings a lot of hype to this team. When Optic is in their purest form and they're in their best form, you even get the yells out of Formal. That is when they are just unstoppable.
I'm going to see, you're the wrong person to talk to about that. I don't think, I hate the word hype. I've always hated it in professional gaming in general. I don't think hype has anything to do with executing a game plan and playing well. I mean, some players look like they're going nuts on stage, but I promise you, that is not making them play any better. They're just losing their minds.
I think you have a point. Granted, we are all human, though, right? Once you feel that energy, you do get a little...
H2K yesterday would like to have a word with it.
I'm just not the person to have that conversation with. I'm just a firm believer in a game plan and practice and repeat and knowing what to do in every situation.
That's definitely a safer route, right? That's a little bit more guaranteed. Looking at the bans protects, the Semtex goes out once again. That was banned out by Scump as the last one. Psychosis coming back in, this time on Karma for the side of Optic Gaming. And Pac-Man even picking up that Psychosis this time for this Hardpoint going on to evac.
Yeah, we've got Pac-Man, like you said, running that Psychosis. And then on the other hand, Crimsix is switching back to that camo. So really feeling like they're going back to what they started with. And we got Jack going to show us the keys to evac Hardpoint coming up in this next map in the series.
Really, two of the spots that I wanted to really begin to touch on, obviously you see the 4 hardpoint objectives. Those red boxes really represent some of the key spawn areas to hold down, where you want to have an AR or really just a guy alive at all times to make sure your team can watch flanks and also get the favorable spawns to hop back in the objectives. Evac is a map where submachine gun presence on the map is key. The likes of Scump, obviously now making his presence known on a map like this with possibly even maybe a kinetic armor, but either way, with specialists as well, breaking into hills is key. One thing I want to watch out for on this map is how well Optic are communicating. We mentioned how we haven't really heard too much from them call-out-wise. We didn't get a chance to listen in with them yet, which is something that you've wanted to do, Matt, but what's key to watch out for on this map is these outer wall run areas, as players trying to catch your opponents off guard, whether flanking into that hill or rotating and hitting that lower wall run into this top AC hill, anything like that. Even when players get spawned out for this back kitchen hardpoint, when they hit that back wall run, anything along those lines really needs to be communicated. You need to count the numbers very, very well. We've seen teams collapse when they have a big lead in regards to giving up a flank like that. We'll have to see between Optic Gaming and TSM who watches those outer wall runs better.
I just want to say one thing before we get into evac Hardpoint, and I'm not sure if this statement is going to make you think a little bit more, but just know Optic is one map away from going home. Stage 1 finals in 7th or 8th place.
Oh yeah, 7th or 8th, you're right.
Can anyone even fathom? Like, did anyone ever think that was a possibility? So this is going to be one of the craziest hardpoints that we're going to see all weekend.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure on them.
7th or 8th, dude.
Yeah, it's not a place they go to often, but it has happened before, so this is a little bit of pressure for Optic Gaming. There's a lot of hope and kind of expectation for this weekend. We're on what could be the last map. TSM currently in the lead, 3-2. Can they win this hardpoint? It's going to be a challenge. Let's find out with Maven and Mr. X.
Game 6, baby. Can TSM close it out? I got a feeling Optic's pushing this to a Game 7. Why not? We had 2 yesterday, right?
They lost the map they were undefeated on earlier. I still think that Optic definitely takes this map as well. I kind of go on the same side as you. It would be very difficult for TSM to win a hard point, but I would not count them out. This is not the same Optic Gaming we've been seeing the last few weeks.
It certainly seems that way. They've got to pull it together. Their in-game leader, Krim, has got to get these guys ready to go in this one. They are a scary, scary hardpoint team. Question is, can TSM keep up? Scump's going to be the man to push the pace in this one. I'm going to kick things off with him.
It's interesting, just cycling through some of the players on the side of TSM. At least at the start, you're going to get 3 SMG, 1 AR setup with Pac-Man being the AR player. We talk about all the good things that Wheats has done with the assault rifle. It's going to be Pac-Man in this one. You see a lot of smokes being thrown into the hill, but it's Optic Gaming getting control early.
Krem trying to hold, has picked up 1 kill thus far. He's got Formal to his left, and they're trying to lock it down. He sees his teammate drop, goes vertical, tags one up, but not able to close it out. 1 there for the assist, but now the break coming in for TSM. They're trying to fly through, but so far Optic Gaming doing an incredible job holding on. And, you know, Hardpoint, one of their better game types. This is one you expect them to hold on to, but I don't know, man. TSM is playing with some energy. They're playing with some swagger, and this has been a fun one.
And if you're TSM, you go into this map really confident from the standpoint that you have nothing to lose. You know you're at least going to get a Game 7. You won both S&Ds. You got to feel really good. You got to play loose during this game, obviously, to win it, but you can't get too down on yourself if you do lose this map. And you see Crim coming over towards Big Door. It's going to be Crim and Scump locking that down as TSM's going to take the lead for a short amount of time, but it's Optic set up to control this next hill, but they don't have anyone in the back on that helipad controlling spawns, and you see players start to spawn out a little bit. Some big kills, though, coming out from Scump and Karma there.
Well, now the back's going to be controlled maybe by Wheats, but there's one more player here to deal with. It's going to be Karma, and Formal is also rotated back, so Formal can get set up. This would be massive, and there's a two-piece for Formal. He's locked down helipad, but the pressure's coming from inside. They get the backside, they have the spawn, but they have to win some gunfights internally. Here comes Formal coming in, gets 3 in a row, but not able to shut it down. Kolchan, who was really quiet throughout the CTF, coming alive here at Hardpoint.
And that's scary for Optic Gaming, that Kolchan's coming to life in a respawn game mode. If there's one player on TSM that can take over a game and get them a victory on his own, so to speak, it would be Kolchan for the squad.
All right, well, they're trying to break in. Tie game here early on. This one going to be nuts. Now let's rotate over to the third hard point. Pac-Man going to be the first one set up here to control the back and the spawns. He's getting tagged up. That's going to be Psychosis coming in, does absolutely nothing, but they are finally able to clean him up. One player that snuck through is going to be Scump. If he can wrap around the back here, maybe pick up a couple kills, but I'll highlight Wheats. Wheats is waiting for this, and he is set up and ready to hold on.
Yeah, but just a distraction from Scump gets Wheats looking the other way, and they're able to pinch and break the hill, so it's going to be in control for Optic Gaming, and the push just keeps coming from TSM. We see a lot of teams back down to these gunfights with Optic Gaming. TSM not scared anymore. They're just going to challenge these straight up, and huge gunfight win there from Ivy.
Camo versus Kinetic. Camo coming out on top, shutting down Scump, because he was probably locked to line up at least 2 to 3 kills there if he could have got in. Great stuff.
And TSM with a lead here early has to scare Optic Gaming. I'd love if we can at one point get a listening with TSM, just see how fired up these guys are.
All right, well, let's rotate through the TSM side. We're watching Ivy right now as he's flying around the back, going to be taken out from the rear, but TSM still holding on to approximately a 20-point advantage here. But now the tick coming through. We're going to rotate on over to Glass. Formal's going to be here, picks up the assist on one outside, and he will be there to secure the points.
And he needs some teammates to get over as they're starting to funnel into the hill, because Formal wants to push outside of the hill and be able to take players out with the AR, and it's going to be Karma in control of it now, able to get one and then push through.
All right, well, Optic controlling early. I want to hop to a listen in with them. Can they mount the comeback and push this to 3-3?
They're not here, they're not here.
One's guarding, one's guarding.
Watch your mid.
Two guys guarding, One's
Hold
up, I'm behind them with an RC.
Push the
One shot, one
Push
shot.
the pillar, top
I got
pillar.
one shot, there's 2 guys, one shot. I got one.
Another one there. Hold tree. Alright, I got you.
Pillar right now, Weeds. Middle shot. Middle Ivy. He's split in, dead. One more middle stairs. In hill. Nice.
Got it. Probably more mid. Another one on me. Going top glass right now.
Two top. Weeds. One shot on me.
I'm coming big door with you.
One more top, Weeds.
Try water. Could be your hop up.
I'm looking out.
One more. No.
You have hop-ups, Damien?
Camping big door, yeah. Hold big door.
One's big door.
They're big
Big door
door.
hurt, guys. Big door hurt. Dead.
I got one. Nice, Matt.
The energy is high. The communication seems on point, but a little bit frantic, maybe?
To me, it just seems like business as usual for Optic Gaming.
Okay.
I mean, it didn't sound like they were nervous or frantic.
It sounded
just
like a
seemed
couple players were out of breath at times, didn't it? A little?
Not really. I mean, that's at least my point of view of it. I don't think there's anything to really take away from that. They're playing in a good mindset right now, and you can see that they're able to hold a majority of that hill and take the lead.
They did a great job holding Glass. Perfect listening there as they lock things down. They've got a significant lead here. Plus 40, looking to push this to Game 7. Going to be HC out for Crim6, trying to find more. One player came through that mid-connector. Scump's there to pick it up with a 2-piece. HC still out. It is going to connect with the back. A Pac-Man comes through steps and not going to be able to find more. On the other side, Kolchan trying to hold on. He can't get it done. We've got 10 seconds left before we wrap the kitchen. And let's go to the TSM player, Kolchan. He's been having a pretty strong game, but he's got several players to deal with here from Optic Gaming.
And if you're TSM, I really would love to know why we have Pac Pac-Man running the AR when Wheats was so good with it early in the game. You see TSM's going to get control of the hill, and Wheats was a real good reason why they hung in there for a little bit at the beginning of that fringe hardpoint, and I'd love to know the logic behind why switching these two players. Wheats doing a very good job now, 18 and 15, but I think he contributes more with an AR in his hands going up against the likes of Formal.
Oh, Scump gets another big two. They're going to break in. Karma comes from the back, and now Optic Gaming regains control. Still holding on to a pretty narrow lead here. HC out for Scump. Can it connect? No flak jacket there. He's going to turn and burn another. Scump going huge when his team needs him. He's 29 and 16, making 30.
Right now.
He's on a 5 streak, 75 off his Lightning, and Scump, the king, is taking control.
He's got one player. Oh my! Just turns, burns, Colchan. He's going to earn the Hellstorm and Lightning in the process, and he's going to call these in, try and take players out as they try and attack this hill in the final seconds. And see TSM, they're going to opt to give it up and rotate towards that third hill. But if Optic can break this, take some good time here, see them blow the game open like they did on that fringe.
Well, Scump's going to be coming from the back. I want to see how he might opt to use this Lightning. Obviously, it can be very good on this third hard point, but he's going to get cut down through mid-connector as he tries to fly through. Krem trying to hold on. Players flying from every which direction. The last person there is Karma, somehow staying alive, but now you see spawning out as Optic. They're going to have to force from the bottom side of the map, and now he's going to go for the streaks. Can Stump open this up with the Lightning? There's one. Can he connect with any more? That's a clone, buddy.
Yeah, he's going to shoot that Psychosis.
That's another
clone.
clone,
He's going to
buddy.
pick off another one, so 0 for 2. Taking out that Psychosis player, it's going to be Ivy in the back, picking up one kill. Karma in control of the hill for Optic Gaming, though. He's going to be able to take out Wheats as he pushes in. Pac-Man directly behind him. Colchan, he's going to drop the hands of Karma. Pac-Man from afar, though, takes out players with the assault rifle. And Maven, this game is still close. If you don't have a massive game from Scump, this would be one that TSM's only down by a few points.
To be honest, the best bit of control we saw from either team was Optic Gaming and Glass. Yes, exactly. Can they get set up there again? The communication was on point. They held it great, but they also were the ones that rotated early. Nice win for Scump. Can't get the second. I'm going to switch between the Optic players to see if they can get a significant hold here yet again. They're trying to bust in. Krem trying to go top glass, gets caught mantling, but Formal is there with the sight. Let's switch to his point of view as he has an opportunity here to do some dirty things here with his weapon.
Yeah, and that was a big break from Optic Gaming because he thought if TSM's able to hold that, they get close to making this a tie game. Going in the middle, all the pressure would swing back on the side of Optic, but Formal doing a great job locking things down with the side, currently on a 4 streak, getting close to that Lightning Strike as well.
Yep, that's why I switched to him, man. You know he can get it done up close and personal even with that sight. Doing an excellent job on that hard point. But now let's look in on TSM for a little bit here. Every player currently negative, but they've held tough. They're trailing by 70 points. They're still within attacking distance, but they need to have some really solid hard points here as we rotate back towards mid. They're going to be the first team in to set up. Let's get eyes on with Wheats. You've talked about the fact he's been running the sub. They switched it up.
Yeah, and I would like to see him just go back to an AR. I mean, Wheats one of actually the better players with the Man of War as well, so I think this map could have been really good with him. You see Ivy pushing in the hill with that camo. He's able to get one. It's going to go into control for TSM, and it looks like it's just going to be Scump trying to contest. And during that contention, he takes out 2 players, waiting for his teammates to push down into the hill.
He's got 3.
Fantastic job by Scump. He's got 40 kills.
Woo! Scump going big. HC out now. They're up 90. He's in cruise control, just destroying the submachine gun players of TSM. You want to know why he was our Stage 1 MVP? Look to the top right. Look at that stat line. The kid's a monster.
And Optic Gaming could potentially close it out on this hill as well. So TSM needs to challenge. All time left on it. It looks like they got players spawning all the way out. They're going over towards apartments, trying to attack towards stairs, and it looks like they're going to have one attempt to make this happen. Scump takes out one. Another player coming in to contest. Not able to take out Wheats. It's going to be Karma coming into the hill.
Game 7, baby.
Oh,
Game
man.
7.
I did not. Oh.
Did anyone expect this?
Nobody would have expected this at the beginning of the day, but Optic Gaming TSM Game 7 here. Our second match of the day. A lot of pressure on Optic Maven.
TSM players' parents didn't expect this.
No
one saw a Game 7, but here it is upon us. Chobra, Jack, Nade, what the hell are we witnessing?
Well, you know what I think? I think TSM players' parents probably would have liked to expect a 4-2 maybe, a 4-1 in favor of TSM. They definitely weren't expecting a game. I don't think anyone was, though, for whatever reason. No one thought it was going to come down to this and in this fashion.
Do you want to know what we just saw? We saw Optic's failsafe plan, that Scump. And he did that for us for so many years where he would just have this breakout game in Hardpoint, dropping like 40 or 50 kills, and it just came out of nowhere. And that's why he is one of the best players, because you can just rely on him to help you at any time, and he's like your older brother just beating everybody else up. That's how I see Scump. He's just unbelievable.
I swear at times like that he sees the future. Like he sees what's developing before it's even happening. Like players are pushing it at him. He knows there's going to be a guy behind him. Turns around, gets him. That's how he gets those 7 streaks in that middle hard point. He just couldn't be stopped.
And the biggest problem besides Scump was for TSM was the fact that they were giving up like the last 20 seconds of hills, but then still losing rotation. If I was playing on that team, I would have been losing my mind the entire time, because you can't give up that time on those hills and then not win the rotation to the next, because you're just giving off like 20, 40 seconds at a time just because you're not rotating correctly, you're not picking up the kills that you need to get, and that was their biggest issue.
Yeah, you got to pick your battles, and maybe, knowing TSM, knowing Optic, that Optic definitely has a stronger gun game, maybe just accepting like, hey, we got this on lockdown, let's get the full time and then rotate as a team, try to maybe split it in half and half, might have been a smarter plan.
Yeah, just as a former player, that's like my biggest gripe. Like, you just cannot give up the last portion of a hill and then not even get the beginning of the next. It's just such a frustrating thing, and it's such a slippery slope, because if that happens on one hill, it's just momentum and it's just a domino effect, and it spirals out of control.
Yeah, it was always on that glass hill, right? Like whenever they tried to rotate back there, the first time it happened, that's where they lost the lead. TSM was in the lead in the first, couple minutes of the game.
Well, you saw at times, even on that AC hardpoint, the first rotation, Optic were trading a little bit more efficiently, but they didn't have control of spawns, so TSM's eventual push finally broke through. It gave the majority of the time. We highlighted the spawns of the Telestrator prior to that game. Optic were struggling in the beginning to hold them down. By the end of that game, they were doing what they needed to, and look at how even those 2 hard points were, 250 to 136, 250 to 135.
Ooh, we got a stronghold to destroy, baby. I can't wait for this.
Jeez, one map left.
This is competitive Call of Duty, like, at its finest, because this map is going to be so intense. Every single round is so incredibly important that everything is on the line right now. I cannot wait for this to start. We need to speed it up.
Yeah, I know.